Hey everybody, I'm Hardt Jr. and this is the Dirty 30. The best highlights from all of our podcasts this week. 30 minutes every single Friday. The Dirty 30 coming at you. Let's get right to it. Listen, man, I'm telling you, my head is spun out.
This weekend there was a lot of not expected.
Yeah, and I first off, I think there's a million ways we could go here. The Xfinity race happens, and I took Amy with me. She wasn't going to go. She was just going to get a commercial ticket and come to the banquet if we happen to win the championship. And I brought her with me. And I was like, come on, man, it'll be fun. We'll win the championship. We stay out there a couple days. We'll have some great dinners. We'll check out Phoenix. We don't ever, we're going to go hiking. Dude, we packed some freaking hiking shoes and so she was there, race is over. She was standing there like, holy I can't believe we're watching the last several laps unravel in front of us. And she's like, dang. And I'm like, yeah, this is it. I mean, race ends, and I said, honey, I'm gonna walk. Amy's feet are blistered to at this point because I made her. We start the race. The race is getting ready to start, and I said, honey, I'm gonna go sit on the 8 box. Let's go sit over there. So we walked the entire length of pit road. She's like, dude. I was like, I know, I'm sorry, it's too far. But I was like,
Sammy was back on the backstretch or something.
Yeah. So she's got blisters all over her feet by the time the race is over with. And I was like, hey, we're going to walk down pit road, and we just got to go to each driver, talk to them, kind of,
do your thing, yeah.
Yeah, we can't leave. We can't just go to the plane and leave. We got a couple things we got to do to finish up. No problem. Go do that, and then kind of getting ready to get out of there, and got interviewed on pit road. And the feeling that I had after that race, and this is it was heartbreaking. Connor was crying. Justin seemed like he was emotionally upset as well, which I was a bit surprised. I walked up to Justin and I said, man, ain't you glad we won the championship last year? I mean, you're thinking my reaction in moments like that is to try to find some silver lining, try to find some positive, right? Try to think about, I don't want to cry. I don't want to drown in my sorrows. I want that to go away. The feeling that I had of being heartbroken hung on, and it's still bothering me today, and I want it to go away. So I'm thinking about, like, all right, well, what can make me feel better? Well, going to the shop, being at the shop on Monday, go to the race shop on Monday, start preparing for the next season. That'll make me feel better. And so when the race ends, you go up and you tell these guys, like, hey, I told Justin, I said, aren't you glad you won it last year? We're not sitting here we're not sitting here crying over the fact that we've not won one ever. We're just crying because we lost one that we had a shot at. But we still got that trophy at home. You're still a champion. And you go over to Connor and you go, man, and I always, I'm sorry I'm rambling, but I always go, listen, I had the worst day that you could imagine at a racetrack, losing my dad. And I hate to bring that up as an example, but I tell people, no matter what happens at the racetrack, and for Connor too, that what he experienced that Saturday night is not going to be the worst day he's had at a racetrack. There will be I've experienced some bad days, and there'll be other things that happen in his career. There'll be successes and failures, and this stings, and this hurts, and this feels like the worst day that you've had at a racetrack, but it won't be. And, you'll be able to, at some point, kind of come to terms with it. You won't love it. You won't never be bothered. You won't never not be bothered by it. There's races that I still pop up in my mind today where I go, and I'll spend 15 minutes daydreaming about what I should have done to fix it or do a better job and to have won. So, I mean, he's going to do that. He's going to, this might pop up in his mind 10 years down the road, and he'll freaking have a moment and get all upset about it and wonder what he could have done or should have done or whatever. But it ain't as bad as it felt. It's not the worst day. And he'll, we get the race next year together. There's also, I think about it like that. I don't know if that's right or wrong, and maybe that's extreme, but I just try to think, I say it to myself, hey, this ain't the worst thing that's ever happened at the racetrack, and it won't be. And for him, like, he's got this whole career in front of him of, disappointment, successes,
just moments, and everything.
Yes,
Both.
I mean, this will fall into a shuffled deck of cards full of good and bad moments if he has this, long career. I've been sitting here for the last couple of days thinking about this show and thinking about, like, this is where I'm going to sit down and have these. I've not had any conversations with anybody about this. And so, my mind's going a million miles an hour. And I've got all this stuff kind of pent up. But, man, it was heartbreaking. With all of that said, I pause to say anything that's damaging to the legitimacy of the championship, or doing anything that might take away, or I wouldn't want to say anything on this show that would rub Jesse Love the wrong way, RCR the wrong way, Danny Lawrence the wrong way. All these people that are part of that program. There's people that are at RCR, they're like family to me. That when we see each other, we tell each other we love each other. There's people over there that I really have very close relationships with that, even though we grind each other's gears during the season, boy, I want to beat them. They want to beat us. And even though we're Chevrolet and we share information, we share information through Chevrolet, we still are very competitive with each other. As frustrating as it is to lose, having 3 teams against 1, they won. And the race played out naturally. And the 2 was fast from the moment they unloaded. And they had the car was a little bit off on the first stage, but they dialed it in. And they had amazing pit stops.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, they were doing 4 lugs, maybe 3 on the lefts. But hey, as long as they got all the lugs on the car at the end of the race, I mean, they call it fair. They took advantage of every single corner and anywhere they could cut and gain an advantage, they did. And hey, I can't take anything away from them. It wasn't a fluke. They ran great all night. They passed us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you made a pass,
drove by and won the race. Had the faster car at the end when it counted. And so, under the current format that we ran this year, they did it.
I don't know what more you could ask for.
They did it. And so Jesse Love, they'll celebrate tonight. He's the champion. He was sitting at this table, and I said, man, you might win it, and if you do, you'll represent the series well, and we'll all, regardless of the great season that Connor had, we're all going to embrace whatever the outcome is. I told myself I would. And so, yeah, I mean, I could be bitter about it, but that's not going to change much. What I can do is, again, like what we can do as a team, as an organization, is come into this shop. There were people here Sunday. We raced Saturday night. There were people at this shop on Sunday getting ready for next year. I was here Monday. There were people here Monday, business as usual, in meetings, talking about what we needed to do, what we saw over the weekend, what we need, just thinking, talking it through, getting better. Adam Wall was here from the 17 car, upstairs in a conference room in a meeting with all the other crew chiefs. And that, to me, is how you put it behind you. How do you put it behind you? You get your ass back in the grinder and go again. And so, been doing this stuff a long time, and the best recipe or remedy or medicine to getting your ass kicked is getting back in the ring and that's what we're going to do.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Door Bumper Clear. I am Freddie Kraft, spotter for Bubba Wallace, Dean Thompson, Gio Ruggiero this week. Thomas, how are you today?
I'm ready to go.
You ready to go for this?
I don't know where we're going, but I'm ready to go.
Well,
Typical.
Yep. That is very, very typical. If your tires all stayed on yesterday, wheels all stayed on yesterday. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Made a clean race. Carson, how was your weekend? Not ideal, I assume. You did come to Phoenix. I know that.
I made a 24-hour trip to Phoenix. Supposed to be longer, but we all know how that played out. So
How
did it play out?
that's how.
joining us today? Thank you. So I had my Regan bailed us out yesterday. Regan Smith, thank you for coming today. He bailed us out yesterday because TJ was supposed to come, and we kind of had this planned out where TJ was going to be here as long as one of the JRM cars won. And we kind of figured with the 75% chance that was a safe bet, so we didn't really have any backup plans. And then, of course, Jesse Love the whole show up on Saturday night and won the race. So, Regan, welcome back to Door Bumper Clear. I know you were here last year.
Kyle Larson fails to lead a lap but wins the championship. Denny post-race also says, in this moment, I never want to race a car again. My fun meter is pegged. Spot on, spot off. Fred, do you want to talk about?
Spot on. I mean, Larson shined when the lights were the brightest, I think, right? I mean, that's what
Isn't that what they
said.
say?
Listen, this is what they wanted. This is what the format does. This is what
I haven't talked to one person yet since that says that race wasn't absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Like they.
The Cup race was. The Xfinity race was boring as
No, that's because you lost.
No, it really was, truthfully.
It's a phenomenal. I haven't used that in a while. I feel like a while, but phenomenal pick call by Cliff Daniels. I don't think
They don't have a choice.
I didn't think
that
I
was
loved,
an easy pick
Yeah,
call for
but
Cliff
it's-
Daniels
yeah,
and the 19.
So the first one
but the 19
was
didn't do
easy.
it. I don't think the 19 put 4 on there.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Did they?
19. They were
Well, they
behind
should have
Denny.
put 2.
I was going to say that the first one was easy. That second one to me wasn't quite as cut and dry. Like, yeah, put 2 on it or don't put 2 on it. Just because you had done it once already.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of Monday morning quarterbacks saying Gale should have done 2. Obviously, in the hindsight, yes, he probably should have done 2. You mentioned earlier being able to see the 98 coming onto for the 11 to maybe abort. What I will say is normally that's kind of on the spotters, and I'm sure some of the war room people can do the same. But, we're on the front straightaway. We're looking at the entirety of pit road, and we can see the guys in these late stalls. All right, and relay. All right, he put 2 on. This one put 2 on. This one put 2 on. Phoenix is a different story because we're in the middle of that corner, and you have no depth going down that back straightaway. Like if you're I don't know what the conversation was with Lambert. He might have told him or not, but Lambert wouldn't have known that he could have guessed maybe by how fast he got out of the box, but he would have not known for sure that the 5 put 2 tires on because you can't see his box from where we're standing. Now maybe somebody in the war room can say, hey, the 5 only did 2 if they're, I don't know what the kind of camera system they got is, but so I think that for Gale, you just can't expect 6 guys, 5 of them that have no implications in the championship to do 2 tires there because, are they just getting in there to disrupt things maybe? I don't know. But, you got 3 guys that you probably don't expect to stay out. Then you've got 6 guys that take 2. He just put 4 on and it worked out. He took the lead off of turn 2 essentially on the first lap. So you're thinking the same thing that Sippy was thinking. I got the best car. I'm going to fire 4 on it and let my guy go execute a restart like he just did and win the championship. So I don't even know that even if Lambert told him, these guys are coming on 2, he probably said, all right, I don't give a shit. Like, we're going to go beat them like we just did. So the people that are Monday morning quarterback and Gale and going, you should have done 2, you should have done 2, maybe in hindsight, but I have no fault with the 4-tire call.
And that's, my takeaway from all of it, right? In the moment, you make the best decision with the information available to you in the moment. And whether that's 2, 4, or stay out, you make the best decision. And that's what the 11 team did, right? They said that we're going to put it in our driver's hands and let's let him go win it on 4 tires. We've seen it work there how many times in the past, and I guess even Friday night we saw it work on Friday night. Different vehicle, right? Truck versus this current generation Cup car. Maybe that affected it a little bit. Didn't appear the Cup cars could get as far to the bottom. Like when Denny fired off on those 4 tires, it just didn't look like there was ever a lane down there, the way the weight comes off of this car and where the grip level was going to be at. But he put it in his driver's hands, and I think in that moment, that's all you're thinking about. The only thing that I look back on, and again, we're looking back on this, so we're not beating anybody up by any means, because none of us had to make that call sitting here right now, and I wouldn't want to make that call one way or another, and whether it was to, 2 tires for Larson, I wouldn't want to be any of those guys in that moment. But the one thing about that championship race that always throws it for a curveball is you do have, what was there, probably 20 cars on the lead lap at the time, give or take a little bit. You've got basically, 17 of those 20.
It was 31.
31, okay, so even worse than what I was thinking. But 31 cars on the lead lap, and of the cars that are on the lead lap, basically 28 of them are there for one reason, to win the race. So there's going to be quite a few. If you see a couple stay out, there's probably going to be quite a few that also take 2 tires as well. And, they also had the number 1 pit stall, which is a huge advantage. You think, okay, we're going to save some positions that way as well, even if we, take 4 tires. I'm of the mindset, I don't think they had enough time based on where Larson was pitting. Yeah, I mean, he was a ways down towards turn 3. They likely didn't have enough time to abort and try something different, even if they wanted to. Maybe they did. I don't know. Yeah. But the 4 tires were up on the wall immediately.
And I really wanted to say it was very stupid on the 6's part, 6 and 60 and 48 to stay out. You were saying that. I said I really wanted to say it. I said it. I said it in the group text. I said I said this is not a good idea. Brad almost wins the race. Should have won the race if he doesn't miss turn 3 on the last lap. So you can't really fault them guys either. But it's just this championship was won in the middle of 1 and 2 on that restart. Denny basically goes into 1 and 2 side by side with Larson. He's made it to the bottom. He's bottom of 3 wide. Just looked like he couldn't get inside of the 22. He kind of gets in his wake, gets up tight behind him. Larson has the benefit of having a teammate in front of him that's going to leave him a lane on the outside. No, there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think. But that's really, if there's somebody else in front of Larson and they keep Larson boxed in that 3rd row and Denny's 1 row back, maybe we have a different race there. But as soon as Larson cleared the 48 on the outside and had that 2 or 3 row buffer and Denny was kind of pinned in the bottom behind the 22, I think off of turn 2 the championship race was over in that moment.
Yeah, so there's more competitive cars in the Cup level than trucks or
100%.
maybe Xfinity. So it's a little bit different thought process of a crew chief, right, to thinking of all that. With Chris, what his thought process was, he had the best car, right, all day. By far he was 2-3 tenths.
Right.
I mean, the guy he run a 50 on lap, whatever number it was. I was like, holy shit. And that was at the time 2 tenths faster than the second fastest lap of the race. His car was fast. But at that point, you're only racing 2 guys, right? That's the only ones you're supposed to be paying attention to, right? And the 5 is going to do something different. They have no choice, right?
Yeah, they can't race you straight up.
Right? And how fast your car is. And there's going to be some other guys going to do the same thing, taking a shot, because they got nothing to lose. So I think if you take two tires and you lose, you're an idiot, right?
Yeah.
You lose, you're an idiot. You're dumb. Why did you do that? You should have took 4. Well, you didn't know if you would take 4, you're going to end up 9th and lose it anyway, right? I think Clean Air would have been king there, right, because of the amount of competitiveness of the Cup program, right? He should have took 2.
There's even an argument, as fast as that 11 was and as good as it fired off on restarts for 2 laps.
If he stays out, he wins.
Just keep the control of it. If he stays out, Larson probably takes 4 tires. If he sees Denny stay out, he's like, well, I'll take 4.
I don't know I don't know what they even had left, because they had one issue. They had to put an extra set on. So, but if the 11 stays out, think about it. Now there's 2 rows of old tires.
Yeah.
All right, so now that changes.
But you also don't know who's going to stay out.
If the 11 stays out,
everybody may come down pit road. If
but I think the 60 and the 6, they didn't have a. They were just throwing Hail Marys. They would have
Hail
Marys.
Let me ask you this, and I don't know how much. There's probably 2 laps you got to after the yellow comes out before they open pit road. I would assume 1 lap to pick up the pace car, then they make a lap and then open it. Is it something you need to communicate organizationally, like, hey, we're the 11, we're taking 2, I need the 54 on 2, or staying out, I need the 35 on 2, I don't think that's really any kind of manipulating. I think it's that's strategy wise.
You're not even thinking it.
I know, but I'm just saying, is that something that people need to look at moving forward? Because it wasn't like that's not what happened here. Like I looked back last night because I was like, I wonder if the 5 stayed out and it was 6 Chevys that stayed out or took 2 with them to try to build a buffer. And because sometimes you're not even going to beat, like Denny could come in leading. Guys are going to put 2 on, and they're still going to end up behind him.
They were too far back. Anyway,
but I looked, and I think it was 3 Chevys and 3 Fords, basically, where they break down. So it was just happenstance. But in my mind, I'm like, well, that's not a bad play. If I'm the 5 or the 11, like I'm putting 2 tires on, and I need every one of my manufacturers to do the same thing to try to build a buffer on the guy with 4. And it's just something that who knows? It probably could come into play. It probably has, I'm sure, at some point.
If it did, or if it ever does, I really hope that they don't say it on the radio. Maybe they just type it on their chats instead. Perhaps
they would obviously have to type that in the chat somewhere.
But another piece of that onion to peel back. Also, Cliff said after the race he wanted to take 4. And his guys back, his engineers back in the war room, and his guys sitting on the box with him, they were saying 2. And I saw something posted, and I don't know what the percentages of this are, but it was like that maybe if Gibbs was looking at, and everybody's running all these programs, right, to try and predictability, that their program may have said that it was like a 0.2% chance that the 5 takes 2 tires again in that scenario. So there is so much happening so quick that you're digesting in the moment, and sometimes it's no different than a football coach having to just make a gut call in the moment of what you think is going to. There's still a human element that's got to be involved to all of it. It is much as we've gotten technical with all this stuff, and we've got all this stuff to help us out, and sometimes it doesn't work out.
It's the human call.
Yeah,
100%.
By the way, Kyle Larson's still pretty good. I mean, he's like, he's still, he's still a heck of a race. They battled back from a wave around in the middle of the race. You know what I mean? They got back up in there in a position of where he could put 2 on. Because like you talked about, if he pits from the wave around, if he doesn't make any progress and he pits from 30th, he's not even going to come out in front of Denny. He'll be on 2 and Denny's on 4 in front of him. So, to him to battle through the field after that problem they had with the tire, it's just a team effort. Obviously, we talk about that all the time. And Kyle just did a great job on that restart, executed, benefited from having a teammate in front of him that was not going to race the out of him like maybe somebody else might have in that scenario. But, he executed exactly what he needed to do and won himself a championship.
He didn't, and on that restart, I didn't feel like he gave Bowman as a teammate much of an option or even put him in a spot to where he had to decide what to do. When he throttled up, I'm like, there's no way that car's going to stick. And it stuck.
Hey guys, Dale and I are in the Dirty Mo Media studio for our very last weekly episode of Bless Your Heart.
We got one more thing that we need to tell y'all. This is hilarious.
We or you?
Us.
I don't. What the hell happened?
The very first note.
Oh.
Y'all.
Okay, yeah.
This yes. So
it's funny because we're bad parents.
Yeah, we're bad parents. So we were at home the other day. I'm telling you what, our girls were pissing us off.
We've talked about it. They've been on one. I don't know why. The moon, something.
They were pissing us off.
But it's Thursday. We're going to leave and go out of town. Mm-hmm. I think it was Thursday. We're going to leave and go out of town on Saturday morning. So it was Friday night. I'm like, let's just take them out to eat. Let's not mess up the kitchen and all that. So let's take them out and then you get out of the house.
We took them to this Mexican restaurant that we love. It's right close by the house.
Yep. It's where we had our first date.
And they were
cute little place. It's an old church.
Complete ass.
They were such both of them.
Yeah.
Even Isla, she's like slinking down in her seat, almost falling underneath the booth.
They're sliding down their seat. and they're like, I'm done. They haven't eaten a bite. I'm done. I don't want to eat. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna get home, and in 30 minutes they're gonna get home and
want
go,
a snack.
I'm thirsty and I'm hungry.
That's exactly how Nicole says it.
I'm thirsty and I'm hungry.
Thirsty and I'm hungry. Okay, you probably should have eaten your dinner.
But they're acting like complete jerks at this thing. Me and Amy are trying to have a good meal, and she's got a little margarita, and I'm having a little Diet Cola, and this could be an awesome time. But they're making it so miserable.
Yeah, the steam is starting to come out of Dale's ears. He should have had a margarita too.
We get home, and we all were sitting in the living room, and they're not really paying attention. We got the TV on, and Amy asked me, she goes, "What's your favorite old scary movie?" And I was like, well, I don't know. I'll think about that one. I guess Friday the 13th. I remember when Friday the 13th came out. That was a big deal. Everybody was talking about it.
We talked about Hellraiser too with Pinhead. Yeah.
Hellraiser, Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger, we went through all of them. And I was like, maybe you ought to fire up Friday the 13th.
I know. So we get on Amazon Prime and there's a couple of
of
right there for us. We started playing one of them and all of a sudden I got chickens. I was like, I don't know. This is going to backfire.
I was like, these two deserve to have the scared out of them. I want them laying in the bed tonight with their eyes wide open, worried about Jason and Crystal Lake
coming out from under the bed.
Yeah, and then we thought better of it, and we're like, that's probably terrible.
Gone too far.
Terrible parenting.
Yeah.
Well, man, we came so close.
The intro was scary enough that we both were scared out of our dumbass
started
decision.
The movie, and there's this girl running through the woods, and I'm like, doing this. All right. Any minute now, the kids are going to look at the TV and freak out because something, Jason's going to get them. And
well, as soon as this started, like all the color in the thing is red. It's like really tonal
like
red,
blood,
like blood.
And
Nicole's eyes get really big, but not like she's scared, like she's like been revived. I'm like, oh God, maybe we were going to awaken the actual demon inside of this kid. Did you see her face?
No.
Oh, I did. I was like, oh gosh,
I saw them
bad.
look at the screen and go, this is weird. They had that look like, I don't know about this, but it got their attention because the font and everything's kind of gruely and spooky.
Yeah.
And then the scene started playing, and I'm like, all right, man, we're kind of about to get to the point of no return.
I hit the button.
Scare the out of these kids, or we're gonna bail.
Yeah.
And Amy bailed.
Yeah, like, it's
I'm
bail
thankful
time.
she did. It'd have been terrible parenting. Why would you subject your kids, your 5 and your 7-year-old?
And then they didn't say anything. They ran off and went upstairs to play. And Dale and I looked at each other and we were like, "That's what the were we thinking?" Like, we were terrible people.
We were so mad at them. We just wanted to get back at them.
Yeah. See, sometimes we need
what
supervision
would have
too.
been what would have been something we could have done that would have been within reason.
I don't know what my parents used to do when we acted like that. I'm sure we acted like that. There's just no way we didn't, right?
We had a breakthrough yesterday. I was Isla wanted a corn dog. Nicole wanted a pizza. The pizza comes out. Nicole all of a sudden wants a corn dog. She won't stop saying corn dog. And I walk over there. I'm like, you say corn dog one more time. You're sitting on the steps. That's time out. She goes,
I don't want to eat this pizza.
And so she puts this look on her face like, I'm not going to say corn dog.
But I really want to.
But I'm not going to eat this. I'm not eating. And I grabbed one of the pieces of pizza and I ate. I was like, hey, look at me. She looks up and I ate it. I was like, oh. I was like, this is good pizza. And I know you like it. And she grabs this plate and slides it over and starts eating it. She's like, it is good.
He told her, he's like, you're not getting up from this table until you finish it.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
I think me taking the bite of it and saying,
getting right in her space.
I was like, this is good pizza and I know you like it. I've seen you eat it. And she's like, he's not wrong.
And she ate it and finished with a smile.
Yeah, like seconds later.
I gave him
and
nuts.
then Amy
I was like,
bumped me.
I did. I was like, God dang, I was about to lose my
Yep.
And he fixed it, so good job.
Check out Dirty Mo Media on Instagram, Facebook, X, and TikTok.